Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to the House of Trust Livestream episode 3. Today, it's my pleasure to welcome a leader whose journey is not only about business success, but about resilience, reinvention, and personal transformation. Patrick, you're one of the closest humans in my life, a mentor, a friend, and I'm deeply, deeply grateful that we are together on this journey.
Thank you. Me too. I love it.
Patrick Matzinger started his career as electronic apprentice before entering the fast-growing computer industry. At just 26 years old, he became one of the youngest division managers in Switzerland and later built businesses across Europe. But his story is not a straight line of success. He has faced bankruptcy crisis, personal setbacks, and moments that tested everything. From those difficult chapters, Patrick rebuilt and created LittleBit technology, growing it into a company with more than 600 million in revenue and operations across several countries. Yet, what makes Patrick's story truly inspiring is that he later redefined success itself, shifting from numbers and performance to health, relationships, purpose, and conscious leadership. And I'm so grateful for that. Today, he is the chairman, investor, and founder of PurPur Ventures and co-founder of Tortuga Sense, focused on preventive health and human well-being. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you, Stefan, for the amazing intro. It's a pleasure being here.
My first question, how I want to open up today, Patrick, is when people hear about your career, they hear success. But behind the scenes, there were many struggles. Looking back, what were the hardest moments that shaped you most?
The hardest moment was that time when I got hired for a company building up their Swiss entity in the mid-90s, and that worked quite easy, quite well, growing, doing, and then the company we belonged to, they start to collapse, and put it in a 3-year turmoil of investigation, of problems, of police interrogation with what probably the one moment really the hardest was there was a night, or actually in the morning, early morning, I think it was about 6 o'clock. The state attorney, Switzerland, Germany, and the police pulled me out of my bed while my wife and my kids were still sleeping, and that was quite a scary moment. That's probably was the most, if the most special event. And in the whole story around, I mean, had not much to do with me. Hadn't done. I mean, sure, everybody does. If you're an entrepreneur, you always say, yeah, in one leg you're always in the jail. But aside the normal things, it was nothing to do with myself. But I was just in that struggle and had to find my way out of that.
One question that always came to my mind while I was preparing myself for the talk today was these moments. How did you overcome them? How did you stay calm and on track?
That's a good question. I probably don't even know that, especially in that moment, because that was so intense. I mean, it was pure survival mode probably at that moment, and maybe a natural ability to drive to. I mean, the end was all about responsibility. I have the gift and the burden. I can take a lot of responsibilities for. At that time, I mean, I was taking responsibility for everybody, not myself, but that's a different story. So yeah, I'm responsible for my family, but I've also had the responsibility for the company, for the people working for me, trusting in me, that there is still going to be a company, still going to be a job after that. The whole thing, yeah. So that's probably what was driving was not super healthy actually from thing, but my system was primed for that, and yeah, I just did it at the end. But I was a 3 year sleepless nights, a lot of time I only could sleep with enough alcohol. I didn't got addicted, was good, but yeah, it was not healthy time in none of the respect.
In this phase that you were in these 3 years, where did you find strength? How did you went through? For the founders who struggle, and we all struggle in this entrepreneurial journey, where did you find strength?
We had we had a super business. We had a really loyal customer base. I had a good relation to our vendors, and that was just a base which I thought. I mean, that's worth going for it, and for the beautiful people working there, and it felt mine. Even it wasn't mine at that time. Yeah, I just saw that as still the best chance doing something or bring it further and going out of that. Sure, in the beginning, if I would know that's going to be a 3 year, I would probably not doing it and would I understood what's coming. But yeah, at that moment I was not so much consciousness thinking about if that makes sense or not. It was just felt had to do it. So
if you would have knew at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey what is ahead of you, would you have made it still?
No, definitely not in that moment. Not with that 3 years in between. Yeah, no. Sure. I mean, I would. No, okay, no, it's maybe wrong. I would have done it different. I would cut the ropes and restart on my own, because that's what the NWA did more or less. Anyway, but it took me 3 years there. So with the knowledge afterwards, I say, well, I could have done that already in the beginning. Sometimes it's better to. That's probably the lesson. Sometimes it's better to take the loss or to make the stop and restart than struggling around in a situation. Sometimes a quick, honest cut would be probably the better decision.
What would you say, Patrick? Is every human being made to be an entrepreneur?
No, obviously not. I think it's a talent you need. I mean, there are a couple of different kind of entrepreneurs. Probably, if it comes to a role with a lot of people involved, you have to have the ability to take the burden, to take the blame. You seldom have the victory on your side alone. I mean, you share always the victory, but the fault is always on you. So there's so much responsibilities, and it's a lot of weight actually, and that's a talent, or even maybe is a burden. I mean, there's reasons why you have learned things like that or can do something like that. So probably not. No, I mean, there's various probably entrepreneurship which have it easier or different aspects like technical things, but if you go with a lot of people, no, probably not for everybody. I wouldn't even, most people I wouldn't even not give the advice to it.
One realization of the last 10 years of entrepreneurial journey is that oftentimes, Patrick, I have to come to my limits and beyond. I have to be with my back to the wall. These are the moments where then I start to operate in a different way. What do you believe? Is this a pattern? Is this a limiting belief that we always have to come to the edge to perform in a special way? Or can we achieve in business as an entrepreneur to act out of ease and peace and abundance? What would you say with your experience?
I mean, as a human, we are primed to learn, and we only learn when we're under stress. I mean, this is a bit the models, the BS we have, and it's probably not many things we have to do that, probably, even if it's not really a good thing, but we only grow when we're on the limits. I mean, when we are failing or on the way to fail, and we're under stress. Sure, after several years, you're coming to a state where you have the experience, but that even then you have to be careful, because experience you only have experience what you learned already, so that limits you in the new things again. So then you're making shortcuts in your mind and getting blind spots. Also can be difficult. So I just say always challenges in any respect. Yeah.
Interesting. The next question I would like to ask you is, later in life, you made a bold shift from chasing growth to focus on health, balance, people first leadership. What triggered that transformation? Was it this rock bottom moment?
Yeah, it was absolutely. Yeah. It was then. It was 2019, 8, no, actually 17, 18 already started. I had the company was heavily growing. I juggled several tasks in the company. I was restructuring the German entity. I had still the corporate, the group head on me, and that and we growed a lot. So it was very intense. And then I had two teenage kids at home alone. They were living with me, and the mother was not there. Then then I was building a new house for me and for my partner with her two kids at that moment, and the relation also was toxic at that time, with my situation, but also hers. So everything came together, and there was suddenly it was just too much. I mean, it was just driving over the point, and then. Yeah, actually, it was the lucky thing with this rock bottom point was before COVID, or just at starting at point of COVID, and COVID just pulled me out of the world, out of all that thing what I'm doing, and because everybody had to stop for a moment, and that gave me a lot of time to rethink what's happened and where I am and what's going to happen, and I deeply realized that's not gonna come good if I continue like that. I was probably quite a minute before, whatever. Yeah.
Thank you so much for opening up. Many leaders struggle silently with stress and pressure. What have you learned about success that you would wish you had knew before?
I mean, the big thing is the awareness, what drives us, why we are how we are, and we tend to think we just are how we act. I mean, but we learn so many things in life from childhood, from parents, even from ancestors, where that what we really are gets overlaid with a lot of layers and things, which brings us the person we acting, and this gives us so many. We're so far away a bit from our human being actually sometimes, and if nobody tells me, that's probably one of the things I really don't understand why nobody, especially in my time, there was nobody which really told you that. I mean, that was really the missing piece to, and that moment where I start to going into me in a deeper level and start to understand why I am like I am, why I act, and what's my habit and where they're coming from. With that awareness, I started to understand what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, what I can change, and that was the shift then into my what's called new life, or of the life of the business of this business time before.
In your journey, do you had mentors? Do you had advisors, people you were able to go back to and ask for advice and learn from?
My program I learned was there's nobody. That was one of my traumas, childhood traumas. So I was always on my own in my belief system. So there were nobody. No, I mean, because I didn't allow it also in my system. So no, and that was one of the, what was a mistake or lack which I had at that time. Yes.
Can it be that this experience that you had, or this trauma as you call it, made you to be today a mentor for others?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I start to understand and say, well, that when during this COVID time, and I start to reinvent myself is the wrong word, coming back to my sense, then I had I had one exercise doing with myself to define my purpose or to try to understand my purpose. And the funny thing is, I did that quite on a conscious mind level. And if I review that now, and I'll connect it more also on the heart mind connection is open, I still see it was correct on my mind, and even is there now on the essence. So, and while when I did that, I then that was a clear sign. Okay, yeah, I want to give that back, which I never was able to give to myself or give to the others. And yeah, with that learning and accepting, also I have beautiful discussions with people today, and I'm able to show the people, explain people their traumas or their where they are on their life and the situation, and connecting that what is entrepreneurship and what is your state, what is your habits.
Beautiful. When was the moment? Have you ever experienced the feeling of now I made it? Have you ever had this moment of now I'm financially free, now I'm successful? And when was this moment?
It's back to, again with my belief system. There was never enough. It was never enough for my belief system. Today, after did my journey, did all these things, I'm, for me, more than good what I have and what I achieved. I'm totally in freedom with myself for that now. When what that moment, I can't even tell you exactly. Maybe there was a moment where we had some deeper connections, experiences together. I mean, that was probably one of the moments which really influenced that.
What would you say? You were talking about purpose. What would you say? What is today your purpose in life?
Yeah, my purpose is now really clearly. I want to bring more people to awareness, to consciousness, because my idea is, as more people are conscious, have a conscious understanding of the world, of themselves, they are able to make better decisions for their life and for their environment, and which helps everybody at the end. Which, because more people have that, as more we can influence the humanity in a good way. And there, as you know, there's enough unconscious and ego-driven things going on in the world, which we probably most people would agree that's not very healthy, not a good thing. What happens now, which on one side is probably some of the altitude things escalating at the moment. With my hope is it start to collapse and everything can rebuild. I'm talking about on a conscious level and mind level for the people, and this is that's what I try to support as much as possible with what I'm doing when I'm working with people or with my projects.
They say evolution is destruction and rebuilding, again and again. Right. Patrick, what would you say? Patrick, before the shift, how was he defining success? And how are you defining today's success?
As in my own belief, there was no success. There was no definition for success. I had to drive. I had just always to do it, like Sisyphus probably. Today, my success is I am in deeply gratefulness with myself. And I can live it in the now, and that's for me the success. I'm there, and I feel just very blessed and grateful for that, and that's my biggest success now, I would say.
Nice. The audience that we speak to are founders, young founders who have maybe not started yet their entrepreneurial journey, but also founders who are already in their growth stage. What would you say is the one single most important advice that you would give to young founders to be successful?
One single advice for them.
You can have also 2 or 3.
Yeah, probably first, that's probably the big difference than any other venture builder or people would say. I think it's really understand what drives yourself, what's your motivation, what is real motivation, what is it? How much is it ego driven? Or and why you do that, because people don't understand why they do things. And that's probably the big difference. If you start to understand why you do something and who you are, and coming back to yourself, it shifts your whole thinking, and you do the thing on a different motivation. And that's, I mean, there are many other good advice for that, but I think that's a different message I would like to say for that. Yes.
And if you had more advices, what would it be?
Oh, okay. Then it's the understanding that things needs time. We have one thing, patience. Exactly. There's with today's startups ideas, and you can actually see things gets more difficult. Just have a case now with a startup, which things does not, the money did not came as he expected, and now he's struggling. And the thing you should, all the startups in the startup world, all depending on external money and resources. And I think this makes it so vulnerable and so difficult, and that makes the rate at the end for startups a 1 to 10 chance that it might succeed, because it's too much depending on everything else. So I would really suggest or advise, make a setup, find solutions, find a way where that idea is as long as possible your idea, and you're driving, and you can experience. It's a longer way, it's maybe a harder way from your own financial, but the freedom, because it's yours, it's doing it for yours. I think it's very healthy actually for the learnings. And yeah, so it's, I mean, literally you cannot with a deck which is not even pre-revenue, you cannot go to any VC. When you can go to VCs, but these days there's no VC gonna support it anyway. And so VCs, as much they have their how I say that, their the sense that they are, I mean, in the beginning, I mean, for the startup in too early stage, it could be really a burden actually. So as long you find ways with family, friends, or a business angel which is close to you, really supporting your idea, not just the exit. Because a VC, you have to understand, always a VC, all this is all about exit. Sure, the earlier stage VCs, so there are people there which are really supportive, but it takes time, and you should find ways to have that time to do it before really going into the Shark Tank.
Talking about capital as a fuel for founders and their ventures to grow and succeed, what was your experience when it comes to fundraising? And what would you say to young founders who are struggling to fundraise?
Yeah, I mean, my companies in the beginning never went for fundraising because that was not as popular or not the normal thing. So we had to grow through our results or business. So not all model are possible, but many business model, if they would be more tuned towards profitability, false profitability. I mean, I think many goes too fast, want to scale too fast. I mean, sure, if you have unlimited amount of cash, fine, you can scale, you can push, but maybe sometimes it's healthier just to go for profit and make the company earning money, which at the end also is a proof of concept for investors again. Might be a longer way, but it might be a much healthier way. So it's sounds a bit maybe old school, but especially now, because the capital market got much more difficult, and it does not look that it is easing down. It might be a good idea to look for profits, business which can make profits.
Patrick, we are here at the office in Zug, and I love what you have built here. Talking about building teams, you were leading hundreds of employees. And I remember we were sitting in Roots and Friends in Zurich and talking about the idea that now is a reality. What would you say is an important skill or advice when it comes to building a successful team?
I mean, if you have the resources and can look at the team, it's all about personalities and people. And as less the people have a dysfunctional side in their behaviors, it's very worthful to look into that, to see how they are, what they are doing, and why they're doing something, and and from that point, I mean, the way how the today's working world with young people works, I think I like that actually a lot better than the old world, because first it's the people actually, and they are talking, and they have they generate the family or a group of people together which burn for their ideas, and so if you are able then to bring them together and bring in motivation, so they can drive, they can do their thing, they can grow together, they can learn together, they can be experienced together. So if you are able to build a team around that and build up your idea into that has such as a broader scale than a broader potential. It's about being open to the people, deep talking, and if you see the people have a toxic side or dysfunctional habits, it's very important, I think, to go into that, give them the chance to work on that, till the point where you realize it works or it's not. I mean, it's there was a very old wording for that, a rotten apple in a basket of nice apples, rotten at the end, all apples, and that's even as an old thing, so it's kind of still the same. So we can look a bit different these days on that, how we can do that, but I think that's quite important. That's what I try to live here, things which I establish my own companies, and with here it's the highest rule. We all have our problems, we all have our dysfunction and from wherever you are in your life, but it's again, consciousness is awareness, to be able to work on it and figure out as people in between.
So as I hear it right, everyone who enters and starts to work for you has to make a psychology test?
Psychology test, not, but I look into it with my talents or ability to see where they are and follow them and their habits and see what we can make out of that. Yes.
Do you have a framework that you're using to screen or analyze people, or is it your experience that you apply?
It's the experience. My learnings. I have also my trainings in reading these habits. It's a bit longer, so it's a bit a longer way to learn that. But it's discovering over time how do people then develop and interacting into situations.
Patrick, today, through PurPur Ventures and Tortuga Sense, you are building impact-driven businesses. What motivates you to do that?
PurPur Venture was a start. So with the idea to help entrepreneurs to build companies, or maybe we have some own ideas. And we had some projects which were all very interesting, and the older project where we into is they have to do something good for humanity. So personally, I'm not very interested in normal finance-driven business where it's all about making money. I mean, sure, you have to make money. A business is not a business if you cannot make money. But I think it's very important. For me, it's very important that it has an impact for humanity. And out of that, we had several projects, so we're still doing several projects. But then this Tortuga sense started to appear about a year ago. We had then the idea about this really high-end supplement company combined with an AI, which coaching, which again to bring the people into conscious to help them being healthy on a mental and a physical level, so they can drive a better world or drive better humanity. And the interesting thing was, which I'd never planned actually anymore, to drive this company for the moment as even a CEO acting. It kind of came all my new things together, like being interested in tech. So I was I started to learn much more into AI. I was by myself during that. What happened with my almost depression in 10 years ago. I was so much also on supplements and mental health and what I have to do to get out of these things. And suddenly we had a concept, which also my old knowledge, old know-how, talents came back into building a company on products and structuring operationally. And while we have the medical side, we have two brilliant doctors in the team which drive the medical front, and one is driving the nutrition, the whole formulation of the products. And so suddenly we had a team and a situation that, well, it fits so much together. I had to do it. And the interesting thing is I'm learning as well more the details building up a company as a startup company. Even we have a bit more, I would say, a broader base of experience and financial freedom than normal, but it gives me back a lot of information or knowledge again, how really the young amateurs feel when they're working on that. So it's funny to also learn to can give back from that side again. Oh yeah.
Talking from a investor's lens, you are investing in many innovative, impactful projects. What are the criteria that Patrick looks at when it comes to investing in a project?
The main criteria is the persons, the teams, the founder team. So they have, if they need to be, you have to get the feeling, understanding that they are really understand what they are doing. They understand their idea, their the solution which they're providing for what kind of market, and then how they really start to define it. And then it comes to the situation that you're really going into the deck and how much is in the business potential. When you have the team and the business potential, and that multiplies to a really good potential startup. I think this is kind of the combination. Keep understanding what they are doing and be capable to bring it to life. Yeah.
Patrick, why health? Why now? And why you personally?
Yes, it's I think we really need to help the people. I mean, on one side is what we now know is that about 80% of the disease are preventable with the right insights and the right tools. So it's totally not necessary that we, within the current health system, we wait till we are sick and when we are on a blind flight into it, because we, with data, with blood tests and amnesty and amnesty, it's you get so many data, and with the AI you can analyze these data, so it's much quicker than any general practitioner, and you can get much better insights. And if you then understand your data, or the AI gives you his advice, it gives you get so much solution and potential things to do not to get sick, because it's sometimes really simple. It starts with an inflammation. Everything starts with an inflammation, actually. And if you know where this come from or what it is and what it can do against it, it simply doesn't come to a disease. And with all that beautiful things happening, the new technology on supplements, new ingredients, new with the AI, you just simply have the tools now, and we have a fantastic team. And it's, I say this, it's kind of my purpose. Bring the people into mental clarity to be able to make better decisions for their life.
Something that I was asking myself while I was preparing for this interview was on building with co-founders who come from different worlds. You are working alongside a chief medical officer and an R&D expert with 20 plus years in pharmaceutical production. As an entrepreneur in the room, how do you bridge those worlds, science, medicine, and go-to-market, without losing the soul of what you're building?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question. I love that. I mean, I'm the only not doctor within the founder team. So the next person, a young lady, is a doctor. So it feels like sometimes like a kindergarten, maybe it's a bit. I mean, so and keep them on because they like to play in their field. They are nerds. They are beautiful. I mean, they have so much great ideas and talents, but what they mostly are not very strong is in economics, and so everybody has his role in that game, and everybody has a high respect of the other. That's, I think, very helpful. The good thing is also we know each other already for a while, and have a deep friendship to each other. So that helps. And so as much as I respect their competence in the medical field, they respect my capability of entrepreneurship, of operational, as how you do it, but you have a very open, nice discussion. So yeah, it's again about the team, how you bring that team together, and it feels sometimes really juggling everything around and keep the things in order to get the milestone done. It's actually it's sometimes it's challenging, but it's beautiful actually to do it with them.
The courage to go slow in a world obsessed with speed. My next question.
True.
Tortuga, Sense, chose the turtle as a symbol. Serenity, wisdom, longevity. That's almost a countercultural statement in the startup world.
True.
How do you hold that value internally when investors, timelines, and the market are pushing you to move faster?
When about a year ago, when we were we made a decision. We are running that project. I was planning a trip with my best friend to go to Galapagos for diving. So and kind of I was on both thing, and we start to how we gonna name it, what we gonna make different as others doing in the market, and then suddenly I had what is the animal which has longest life expectancy. And so we had this Galapagos. I found this Galapagos turtle, which actually is not a turtle; it's a tortoise. I learned, so they call it tortoise. And then you saw them, how slow they are, how patient, how calm they behave. And I saw them a few weeks ago, and the guy there, it was around 150 years roughly. They don't know. Nobody knows it exactly because nobody was there when he was coming to life. And so they say, well, these Galapagos turtles getting about 180 years old. They think, they expect, and it was just with all my learnings about life, about mental clarity, and all this thing. It was just quite the perfect symbol. And I like diving, so it's so beautiful to dive with these. I mean, the Galapagos turtles doesn't dive; they are land, but the sea turtles do. So it's just always unbelievable to see them and follow them and watch them underwater, and it was just that's the perfect thing, because yeah, we have to calm down. We have to calm down our nerve system. We have to, yeah, without with an alert of nerve system on alert, we don't do good decisions. We are not with us, so we're not. Yeah, and so that was the reason, and how I deal with. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, yeah, I want to do, when I'm doing the whole thing, the process and talking to people, it's all about taking the time, make the thing right, rather than go. The luck is we did not onboard investors so far. Till now, it's financed by ourselves, and we only plan to onboard investors in the next phase.
Yeah.
Then when we're going into scale. So we took the decision to really make it post revenue, to fix everything, to be on the market, to have first success to show. So we have a model which is really advanced, and I have a lot of talks with potential investors, but not and yeah, just for example, for a few months we realized we need another 3 months to go live, because a couple things have to get more sorted out, more into deep. So yeah, so well, it's the progress. It's okay, and if you fit to it, then you can wait. If you don't fit to it, then it's doesn't make sense to be together.
It's beautiful, and it's also high privileged. I mean, you worked many years to be now able to be in such a situation that you are not dependent on external funding. The reality for startup founders is that often they are dependent on fundraising, and then this dependency relationship comes with an investor and expectation and pressure, so they have to deliver. There is a case study that shows that we humans walk faster than in the past. So we live in a high-paced world, and it's constantly on the informations that we consume, the pace of the world. How can we still be successful and slow down? How can we be anti-cyclish?
I mean, that's all about what you're doing. I mean, we want to give products or solution to people to show how they can deal with their system, with the nerve system. It's about regulating their system, and it's two things. You have to eat the right way. Don't eat high processed foods. Go to vegetable which have fiber. Go to healthy things. Avoid sugar, carbs, maybe this, because that all goes to your nerves and fool it in a too much intense way, and on that side, and the other side, because we are in that fast world, we don't breathe. I mean, no, that's wrong. We're breathing too fast as well. We learned to breathe. I think the study is about, we're breathing about 17 times a minute, but healthy is 11 times. So always when I'm talking with people and I see they're acting and overacting, I'm telling them, come on, slow down your breathing. Go into it, breathe in with nose in and out, and go down to about 6 seconds for a breath. And if you just go down, I mean, there's much more breath technologies how you can even advance that with other technique. But if you just do that, you can really see how people slowing down their nerve system and going into calmness. And if you're there and not in a flight mode in your brain only, you're gonna be much more relaxed. So it's very, very important. It's awareness and then breathing.
Talking about health, talking about awareness, talking about slowing down. The US, Donald Trump just accelerated the process to get psychedelics FDA approved. Some of the supplements that Tortuga is producing are lion's mane, chaga, mushrooms that have no psychedelic effects, that are health enhancing. What do you think about psychedelics in general?
I think it's a very interesting area. I mean, the studies and all shows that psychedelics has a huge potential to calming down nerves, to open the system. So I think it's what I see and hear. It's highly potent. And I also know a few people which are therapists which are already giving therapy with that, which is legal these days in Switzerland and in Germany. So what I see, what I can see, I it's a very high potentials. If it comes to our mushrooms with lion's mane reishi, no psychedelics, I just said, but even there, I mean, you can see how potent, especially mushroom is. Mushroom is the biggest, largest organism in the world, and it's the closest by DNA to the human, to anything else on the planet. So it's amazing potential there, I think. Yeah.
I remember back Paul Stamets in our House of Trust event in Davos.
Right.
That was fascinating, and I really believe in the power of nature. So yeah, definitely a topic that we're going to dive more and more into it in our conversations. Patrick, what would you tell a 25-year-old founder who's chasing the exit, not the mission?
It's You're not going to make it, most probably, because
Why?
it's too shallow. It has no depth in the project, in the program, and there's so many obstacles on the way. And if you're just chasing the numbers and there is no deeper sense of what you do, it's too many obstacles, and you're gonna let go on that way if it does not resonate with your own system at the end too much. So I think time is over for projects which is only KPI driven.
So again, talking from an investor's lens, you would always prefer a legacy founder than an exit founder?
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, from my side, yeah, my experience, my world where I'm coming from, yeah, I would say so. It's has more substance in it, has more flexibility also in it. I mean, on that way, you can pivot your business model into another one, advanced one, or adjusting to situation. Yeah, I mean, I personally are much more attracted from that.
Talking about technology and AI, how important is it today for a founder to be equipped with a certain level of knowledge and experience when it comes to technology and AI to succeed in business?
Yeah, as it is so difficult to raise money, and I mean, it's this the best chance to start with low headcounts, low overhead cost. So building up the whole company on AI, on agents, is probably makes sense from that side, but also in the long run, I mean, most of the business will not thrive in the future, which have a large headcount overhead system. So it's probably, I mean, it's absolutely essential now. Yeah.
You have a whole team of developers. What is something that you're excited about that they are working on?
I mean, now it's the most exciting one is Tortuga Sense AI, where we bring all these medical things together into a preventive health coach, and what they're doing with all that data, and how much we can do out of that. I mean, this is really amazing. That's sure, that's fascinating. You give them the ideas. We have the doctor, which gives him for the medical side his perspective on the prototype, and they bring it to a real AI. So a whole process the whole thing is amazing. I mean, it's really amazing to see them. And as well, so here with AI, I mean, the two leaders, they make so much now with the tools. So it's proceeding so fast. Before you would have probably need a team of 20, 30 developer to doing that. So yeah, it's really fantastic, amazing.
Coming from your IT tech background, what is your outlook for the future when it comes to technology and AI?
Ooh, that could be a podcast in its own for a couple hours. Oh yeah, we're gonna drive. I mean, it's gonna come. HI is gonna come. It's a lot of thing gonna change. The whole working environment gonna change. We're probably gonna see quite different world in 5 years, 10 years, and the whole life for people and their working life gonna change. Will give a lot of disruption, will give a lot of stress for many people, but it's also a huge chance to refocus your system to a life where work itself is not going to be the only thing. Sure, we have to learn to let go the ego, and we have to find also new ways of financing that life. I mean, so there's a potentially total shift. How the world gonna look like, how it's gonna work out. Yes, it's gonna be stress on the first side, but I think if we're doing it clever and don't let the people which just run by ego redefine that, I mean, there's a huge chance for that the people get time for creativity, for self-orientation, self-purpose, for example, exactly, instead of being steered and driven, manipulated from the world.
So you see more the positive chances in AI and technology than the danger. Is this correct?
I mean, the chances are huge, but yeah, the danger is also there. As long we let it driven from the egos and from all this, and keep the old system alive, we're gonna have a lot of problems. Yes, so we have to be aware. We have to go. We have to really transform as a humanity.
How amazing would it be when all the not fulfilling jobs of today would be replaced through technology, AI, and robots, and we would have a humanity that is able to think about purpose, to think about meaning, to be creative, to create something meaningful with the lifetime. Wow.
Absolutely.
What a world would that be?
And there's so much abundance there, which there's no this. I mean, the value that it's going to be created by the AI, and I mean, there's not enough abundance around, so we just have to make sure we get a system where people can be there.
Patrick, you have been on both sides. What's the honest conversation you would have with a young entrepreneur who is optimizing for the outcome rather than purpose? And is purpose-driven entrepreneur harder or actually easier once you've made it the shift?
Is it hard? I mean, I think if the motivation lies in your core, things is always easier. Then you don't have to think about what you have to do. You just can do it, and I think that's maybe it's a strange feeling in the beginning to go there and believe in yourself and the system. But if you're there and you understand it and you see what you can do out of that, then I think it's more beautiful.
Patrick, you were one of my closest mentors the past years. You are one of the first people I think about when I have a challenging situation or something where I'm struggling, or when I just need a sparring partner to talk to. On Monday, we are starting the Impact Accelerator with founders joining the program. What made you decide to be a mentor for me and also other founders?
Yeah, that's probably comes back to my purpose, written down about 5-6 years ago, when I decided to go that way. And when we met about 4 years ago, then I saw you there, and said, well, okay, you were kind of my first challenge to to go into that, to support that and be there in that exchange. And um, I always learn as well, and I also have the exchange, and I were able also to grow to you. So this made it very, very beautiful, actually. And yeah, and that kept me going, and doing new things, on building, for example, this hub with that companies, because we had now here things came together, and we have amazing people here sharing dreams, visions, building health space, building AIs, building things, and uh, and 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 working with these peoples, and give them ideas, or they also come back with their ideas. So this is this connection, this growing together, and building together something, and I think that's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just another boring education platform or curriculum. It's a living community. It's exchange, it's physical experiences, but also direct access to a network of investors, because yeah, most of the projects need access to capital. They need the fuel to grow their ideas and businesses.
Yeah. And I'm able now, with all the learns and the things I'm doing now, to give them an extra idea, what they have to look, what when they should go to investors, what they need to tell them when. So yeah, I have got a lot of insights now with the time with all, and even with my project now, it gave me another extra pinch into the view of all these things.
Patrick, we are perfect on time. I would say this is it for today. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your leadership, for your compassion, for your trust in humans, to invest in them, to dedicate your time and energy, and that showing that true success is not only what we build in outside, but who we become in the inside. So thank you for leading, thank you for inspiring, and thank you for your time today to join us in this live stream.
It was a pleasure. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, guys. That was it for today. Tune in next Tuesday for our next session. In the meantime, wish you a successful and good week, and see you next Tuesday.